Hi, I'm Coach Greg White, and I'm here with Jason Fry today on an Ed Talk to talk about the importance of being intentional with your communication. And one of the things I found during this quarantine time, what first thing I want to tell you is let's change how we've thought about this. And if you haven't changed it until now, go ahead and make that change. I haven't been secluded. I haven't been sentenced to my house like some people feel. I've been very fortunate being a public educator. I didn't have to worry about my income. I didn't have to worry about things that a lot of people did. And I know that is a blessing. But I feel like I've been on a sabbatical and I've been on a learning journey to be a better educator, better coach when we all return. And so I've come up with words that are the buzzwords of coaching and education that we kind of need to eliminate because of the lack of intentional meaning behind them. There's words I'm going to replace. And again, the purpose goes back to the speed of communicating and making sure that, number one, our students learn. That's got to be the purpose for anything we do. And I believe that comes from, your terminology, your grammar that you use, definitions, but being on the same page with everyone as much as possible, especially if you're in a basketball staff. We try to have the same because I've studied football coaches and I'm amazed at how they can say one word and move 11 players. For basketball, we're trying to move 5. As a classroom teacher, you're trying to move 25 to 30 people. And so the intentionality becomes a necessity for proper, speed of education to take place. And when you think of it in a term like this, the less time I'm spending on explanation, the more I can explain. That changes the mentality of why it's important. So I'm going to give you a couple words that we've looked at, and some of this comes from books I've been reading. I'll show you one of probably my favorite book of all time. I keep a copy by me all the time. It's on my phone as well. Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke is one of the books that really kind of opened my thought process. The next one would be Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey, and then Burn Your Goals by Josh Medcalf. And so when you go through those books and you kind of look at some things on the education side and dealing with people, the intentionality again falls back on what you believe and how you can take belief into decision, because that's what we're all trying to do. If you replace the word belief with theory or explanation in education, you're trying to get this into a practice. It has to come from ourselves as the instructor to the student to an outcome. But I would caution you against always living in an outcome-based world, because sometimes you do your very best, and if you're relying on the outcome, you consider that a failure. The term we use is resulting. It's in Thinking in Bets. When you focus on resulting, it's a win or lose, which in my life as a basketball coach, that is a big part. But when you're playing the game of life, it's a game of poker. You don't have, and this goes for teachers, it goes for coaches, administrators. If we were all playing chess, which we've all been told how smart people are that play chess, how smart you have to be a chess player as a coach, a teacher, we would all have the same thing. Every time you walk into your English classroom, you would have 25 students identical to 25 students anywhere else in the country. They would all have the same background. They would all have the same resources. And we all know that's not true. So when you're playing poker, you're given a hand and you have to make the best out of it. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes you have a great hand and lose. Sometimes you have a bad hand and win. That's life. We all know that. And so getting back to being intentional, finding a way to use your vocabulary, turning it into the terminology of your classroom, the terminology of your team, is going to make you faster. One of the things about being faster is this: if I can trust, the truth is the one thing that changes everything. And not jumping off subject, but I'll wormhole around real fast to it. The world we live in, it's hard to trust what we see and hear. And you've got to find a way that if you speak to someone, they trust you, and they're not going to have to fact check you. They're not going to check out mentally and wonder, I wonder if that's the truth. I need to research that. So being intentional with your words and being intentional with your instruction is going to make you a faster, more efficient, effective instructor. So I'm gonna give you a couple words just to think about that are on my list, and I'll make these available to share, and I'd love if you have some to add to it as well. First one let's talk about is a culture. That's a big buzzword in athletics and coaching, in schools, corporations, everything. But if you ask culture, if you bring 20 people in a room and ask what culture is, 20 people are going to give you a different answer. Even people that are in the same culture would have a different interpretation. And right now you might be thinking, oh, well, we have a mission statement, or we have this lined out in our classroom. Or the culture is such a broad word; it opens up thinking, and thinking's not a bad thing. But again, when you're trying to move in a systematic approach to learning and expectations, you want to eliminate some of these words. So we've taken culture and replaced with standard. An example for us is a standard of our practice. This could be a standard of your classroom. For us, a standard of practice is a Saturday standard. Now, the reason behind that is the semifinals in the state of Arkansas are played on Saturday every year. Was that workout a Saturday standard? Would that workout get us to that game? Would your attitude get us to that game? Would your attitude in the classroom get us to that game? So we can't be thinking about playing on Saturday if you can't act right on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in class. Things like that you can tie in, that when you say the word Saturday standard, they know exactly what you're talking about. Another one we've talked about is balance. We've all had balance in our life. We've been told you got to have a work-life balance. You got to have everything. You've got to spend as much time this, and you can't. If you're listening to this, you're one of the people like myself and like Jason you're chasing greatness all the time. There is no balance in that. There's going to be nights you don't sleep. There's going to be weeks that you barely remember to eat because you're on task and you're pushing, whether that's testing time, whether that's creating curriculum, whether it's state tournament. You're going to be focused. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're worried about someone telling you how you're not balanced in life, you're going to beat yourself up. You got to find a rhythm, okay? You have to find a rhythm. There's highs, there's lows. Most importantly, you have to explain rhythm to your family and friends, and surround yourself with people that understand that. Because if they don't, you're going to feel the days. If you've read Burn Your Goals, you know the days out there are out to get you. They're out to change you, and days don't understand. But that's one of the things we've looked at doing. I just heard this one yesterday. Mike Neighbors, the head coach at University of Arkansas. Kids aren't spoiled. We've conditioned them for this. So we don't use the word spoiled. We've created conditions for people to act the way they act, and that's a big one that I just found the other day. Eliminate when you tell someone, "Oh, I'm just lucky," or "I'm very fortunate." You can feel that inside, but there's something you've done to put yourself in that situation. I used to tell people, I'm just a high school coach. Well, I'm not just a high school coach. I'm a guy that, like a lot of you, have worked to put myself in a situation to have a platform and to continue to grow. The reason I want to be on a platform is not so people can see me. It's so I can see more people and help more people. And the last one I want to cover with you is being intentional with everything you talk about and do. Finding reasons that help people. You've got a classroom of 25, you got a team of 15. If you're a football coach, you got a team of 100. There's no way you can treat all of them the same. You can be fair, but you can't treat everybody the same. And you shouldn't treat everybody the same. What makes Jason happy doesn't make me happy. Some things might be similar, but if I know that I got a basketball player that likes cookies and cream shakes from Sonic, and that's a thing that I could simply, hey, here's a gift card, go grab, for a shake there. And I know he likes that. Whereas I've got another player that loves Raising Cane's or something. Those are ways of being intentional. People discredit and discount what an intentional gift is. A couple of weeks ago, I got a gift card from someone just as a thank you. We don't have the restaurant here, and I understand it was a great gesture, but that's not an intentional thought of not looking into where I live, and asking, tell me. I know people like to do surprises, but being intentional takes time, but it means so much to people, and it crosses lines. And so that's the purpose behind all this. Words we're going to eliminate. This one's a kind of an edgy one for us. We're trying to eliminate, positive and being practical. An example I heard from Josh Metcalf was, and I'll share this quickly with you. You got a positive thinker and you have a practical thinker, and they're stuck together in a potato sack on the busiest highway in the country. And the positive thinker is going to look at him and say, hey, don't you worry, traffic will slow down in a couple hours. And so they've got semis going 90 miles an hour past them, flying behind them. And the practical guy's saying, you ever play Frogger as a kid? We're going to get out of this, but you got to think and you got to move. There's definitely needs for positivity in the world because we're covered in negativity all the time. But take that and be a practical approach to being positive. Don't just sit and think. What's the difference in being positive and wishing? Don't just be I hope this works out. I'm going to think it's going to work out. Be practical and push toward the positive. If you are planning for a positive outcome, that's a lot better than just thinking about a positive outcome. So my contact information, you can find me on Twitter at GregWhite32. My email is gregwhite32@att.net. And my cell phone, 479-659-2661. If you shoot me a text or an email, I'll get back to you. I'll be more than happy to share this list with you. And the big thing I want to encourage everyone right now, it's a very trying time in our country. It's trying for teachers, for parents, for everyone. I think the best thing a lot of us could do comes from, the musical Hamilton. There's in the Aaron Burr song, talk less and smile more. I think that'll solve a lot of problems for a lot of people. Just remember, we're going to get through this. It takes all of us doing our part. So I want to thank you for your time. Thanks, Jace, for having me on Ed Talk, and we will see you soon.